If you're selling home improvements or doing selling in the home, I'm sure in the close you've come across, that's too much money. What does that mean and how do you handle it? It could mean two things. One, you haven't built the value of what you're selling or they can't afford it. Please watch until the end to see how to handle both reasons. Now the good part about hearing that is you can isolate the objection to the money quickly and easily. That's always the first thing you're trying to accomplish in any close, to isolate the objection to the money. When you're selling something to someone, I believe that people buy when two questions are answered. Do I want it and can I afford it? If the answer to both questions is yes, they buy. In the sales presentation, you make them want it, and in the close, if you make it affordable to them, they buy pretty easily. So usually the first thing you have to do in closing is to isolate the objection to the money, then handle it. That's why you always hear people say you need to bring it to the money in the close. So when I hear, well, that's too much money in the close, I'm really glad because it's really easy to say, so other than the money, is this what you definitely want? Or, so money's your only concern, right? And then when they say yes, I've isolated it to the money quickly and easily. The main reason people say it's too much money is that you haven't properly price conditioned them or built the value during your sales presentation. This is 100% in your control and your responsibility. They're sticker shocked and may not see the value of what you're selling. Now, if you built the value correctly, they should actually be surprised at how low the price is. If you're selling something for $15,000, ideally they think it's worth $18,000 or $20,000, so when they see the price, they think they're getting a bargain. The opposite is that if they thought it was going to be $10,000 and you show them $15,000, it's going to be hard to sell them. If you price condition them correctly, they should not be sticker shocked and have a general idea of what it costs before you give them the price. You should have a specific section of your sales presentation where you're conditioning them to the price. Here's an important point. Price is a perception the customer has based on information they may have gotten, and you can change that perception if necessary by being more credible than the information that created that perception. Now, before you get there, what information creates the perception of price the customer has? The information could be other estimates, a guess, or something their neighbor told them. So when you get there, they could have three perceptions of the price. No perception, the right perception, or the wrong perception. If they have no perception, you can easily create it. If they have the right perception, you just have to reinforce it. And if they have the wrong perception, you have to change it. That's why the first thing that helps is to get an idea of where their perception of the price is, so I know what I have to work at. That's why I always start this section by saying, well, do you have any idea how much new windows cost? And whatever they say, I always say, well, windows can be confusing because they all look the same. They're all white with some glass in the middle. But you can see the same size window priced from $300 to $400 a window all the way up to $2,000 a window. Now what causes the difference in price is the materials they're made of, how they're constructed, and how they're actually installed. $300 to $400 a window is probably too low because it's going to be really cheap, and $2,000 a window might be too high. Now if you're interested, you can see by this cost versus value report or from Home Advisor that the national average cost of a window would be about $1,500 a piece. Now here you should have some type of third-party pricing literature to help give credibility to what you're saying. The better sales reps can get by with just the strength of their own personal credibility because the customers believe them. When you're new, having another source to back up what you say can help. If you're selling cabinet refacing, you might say, well, that's why people buy refacing, is that instead of spending $80,000 to $100,000 on a full-blown kitchen remodel, that you can make it look like you've got a brand new kitchen, but it'll only be a third of that cost. Now at this point, the person's got to be thinking that your windows are going to be around $1,500 a piece and that a kitchen refacing job would be about $30,000. So what price conditioning does is it gives them an idea of the price without specifically telling them how much it's going to be. You need to condition them to the price. If it's flooring or something that's priced by the square linear foot, line it out. For example, well, carpets can run anywhere from $2 to $3 a foot up to $10 a square foot. So your 2,000 square foot room could run you anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 depending on the type of carpet and how you install it. Now, even though you have a specific step to price condition them, you really are price conditioning them throughout your entire sales call. For example, you can build value when you show them the product, such as if you're showing them a feature and your commitment sounds like, now obviously it's going to be a lot more expensive to do it like this, but if you can afford it, is this what you want? Or when you're selling your company and talking about your warranties and then follow up with a comment like, If you hire us since we've been around for so long, you'll know we stand behind our warranties. But how would you feel if you spent $10,000 on an HVAC system, then when you needed warranty work, you realized the company was out of business and you had no warranty? All these things are planting seeds and building value. Now all of a sudden the customer's thinking, well, if Ron told me the average windows were $1,500 a piece, with everything he's showing me and how professional he is, these are probably going to come in around $1,800 a window. OMG. Now when you show them the price at $1,300 a window, they'll think it's a good deal. The point is that you create the perception of value, and what they think it's worth is directly related to how good of a job you do. If they think whatever you're selling is worth $5,000 at the end, then it means you did a $5,000 presentation. If they think it's worth $20,000 at the end, then it means you did a $20,000 presentation. You control and are responsible for what they think it's worth at the end. So whether they think it's worth it or not, it's up to you. Imagine it's like you're talking to an alien from another planet and you're trying to explain why one car costs $20,000 and the other one costs $100,000. If you do it right, they'll understand and not think you're ripping them off with a $100,000 car. So if you do it correctly, ideally what you should be hearing when you deliver the price is, wow, that's actually less than I thought it was going to be, but I still can't afford it. In that case, you've built the value. When they say it's too much money, what they really mean is they can't afford it, not that it's not worth it. Then you would be at the second reason people say it's too much money, which just means they can't afford it. This is much easier to handle in the close. That's why, to be sure, whenever they say it's too much money, I always isolate the objection. So other than the money, is this what you want? Then when they say yes, I try to clarify the money by saying, so when you say it's the money, do you mean it's more than you think it's worth, or just more than you can afford? Hopefully they say it's just more than they can afford, and then you need to learn how to work the payment so you can make it affordable to them. The easiest way to do this is to get the gap. So when you say it's more than you can afford, how much too much is that monthly payment? Then you know where you need to be and go from there. When the issue is affordability, you're always now talking about the payments. It's a payment gap you're closing. You're not talking about the whole price anymore. Now, if you want to dive deeper into how to handle it's just the money objections and how to build value if you need to in the close, please see the video above, or also see the video on how price is just a perception and how to handle it.